So it's Commitment Sunday, and this whole stewardship month, we've been talking about a future with hope. A future with hope, that theme comes from the passage from Jeremiah that we heard read. For I know the plans I have for you. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. And these plans are for your good and not for your ill. I know the plans I have for you. These plans are for a future with hope. I hear this verse read a lot at graduations because, of course, you're going from high school to college or college into life after college. And that can be an exciting time, but that can be a scary time because you're going from what you know to the somewhat unknown. And it's good to hear the assuring words that God shares through Jeremiah, for I know the plans I have for you are for good. So look ahead to your future and be filled with hope. In Jeremiah's day, God was speaking through Jeremiah to people who were in exile. The people of God were far away from their homeland. They were living in their enemy's country, and yet Jeremiah shares the word of the Lord with them and says, you don't have to be afraid because God has a plan for you. And this plan is filled with a future with hope, even though it may not look like it right now. So Jeremiah says to the people, so plant trees, plant gardens, have families, pray for the well-being of those you're living with right now because your future is bright. Your future is filled with hope. So Jeremiah was saying to the people of his day, be signs of that living hope in how you live, like you know what the future holds. So act like it. Live like it. And that's what we're called to do as well. We often live in uncertain times. We can't know the future. But God says to us, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. And I plan for your future to be filled with my good and not harm. And for you to be living signs of that good, people of God. Living signs of that good in the world. And we are, as Living Word. We are signs of living hope. God works through us, works through our time, works through our talent, works through our treasure to be signs of living hope in the world. And one of the ways we do this is through our mission partners. We support mission partners globally and locally. We already heard about Katy Christian Ministries and our food support for them. We also support globally many organizations. One of those is Tree for Hope. Maybe you remember the Advent devotionals and the coffee, and that time is coming up again where you can subscribe to get Advent devotionals and coffee for Advent and support Tree for Hope in Guatemala. You can find more information about that in the lobby. But Heath just took a trip over to our mission partners in Guatemala, and he's going to share a little about that today. So come on forward, Heath, and share a little bit about your experience and what Tree for Hope does.
Right now? Okay, there we go. So good morning, everybody. I had the pleasure of taking a trip to Guatemala last month. And Tree for Hope is a not-for-profit that supports Hope Academy, which is an all-girls school. Go to the next slide. So Hope Academy, it's the first and only bilingual STEM school for girls in Guatemala. What's unique about this school, like I said, it's for girls only. So one of the challenges for a young girl to attend school in Guatemala is lack of capacity. So with there being a lack of capacity of classrooms, they usually take the boys. So the girls don't get to go. Another issue is the cost. So uniforms, school supplies, things of that nature can be pretty expensive, and the average family in Guatemala makes about $15 per day. So they will typically just send their boy and not their girl. So this is what's unique about Hope Academy. Next slide. So as you drive into Hope Academy, on this wall they have a mural of initially there's positive females from around the world. And these girls, they see this every single day. They know exactly who these people are. There's Frida Pinto, Malala Yousafzai, there's Ruth Bader Ginsburg, just to name a few. And they know their stories, so it's part of their curriculum. Next slide. This is a picture of the school. The top floor, so the bottom floor is finished. The top floor that you see on the left there should be done by the end of this year, by the end of December. The middle is done. Next slide. And then to the right, you can see that has yet to be started. So that's going to take another $150,000 to complete that. Next. All right. This is what I love. Like every morning as school starts, all the girls gather out front in the courtyard. And that wall behind them, remember I talked about there being a mural there? They have these positive affirmations that they say or state every day. So the girls up front, they lead it. Did we fix that slide? Yeah, next slide. Okay, so the leaders that are up front, they say, we are, and then all the girls will say, Hope Academy. And then they will go into, the leaders will say, I am strong, I am intelligent. And then the girls will say, I am brave, I am unique and creative, I am me, I am. And so that's how they start their morning, every morning, by reciting these positive affirmations. Next. Now this is Sherilyn. Sherilyn is, she's the girl that I sponsor there. She's 9 years old, third grade, and she loves playing soccer. She nicknamed me Padrino, which is Godfather in Spanish. So I love that title. And I played with her in her class during recess, played soccer. And I was a pretty good soccer player about 40 years ago. And I pulled the whole left side of my body. So what I did is I called time out, and I said, hey, let's play a different game. So I taught them how to play kickball. So it was a little easier for me. Next. All right, there's a Chica Bean, which is a coffee company in Guatemala that does majority of its business with women. So women comprise about 70% of all, pickers, coffee bean pickers in Central America, but they make less than 5% of the revenue. So what Chica Bean has done is they've literally cut out the middle men, and they're now paying these women directly. So instead of getting 50 cents a pound, they're getting $3 a pound. And so what Chica Bean does with Hope Academy is that they partner, and the 5th and 6th grade students, they get an internship, and they learn the different ways to roast coffee, how it's grown, how to make it, and then they get to create their own brand or roast, and they package it, they come up with their own brand labeling, and then they get to sell it on Chica Bean's website. So what that's teaching these girls are life skills like marketing and how to sell value, creativity, communication, and then they also get like feedback from their customers, so they understand how to do feedback analysis and how to improve things. Next, I know I'm over time. This is Abby. Abby, she runs Chica Bean. She's one of the owners, I believe, and she is amazing. Just to watch her work with the girls, it's just impressive to watch her. So I had to include a slide with her, and I think that's my last one. So if you have any other questions, there's my email address. Feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Yeah, it's wonderful to hear about all the good that's being done through Tree for Hope. It's one of the many mission partners that we support here at Living Word. We also support here at Living Word our own discipleship ministries, where we provide a place for people to grow in their faith through things like Sunday school and through confirmation and through youth ministries and through adult Bible studies as well. But one of the opportunities we provide for youth to grow in their faith is the ELCA Youth Gathering and the opportunity to join there. So Chloe and Kira are here with us to share a little bit about their experience this past summer in New Orleans at the ELCA Youth Gathering.
Hi, my name is Chloe Noonan. I'm a sophomore at Seven Lakes High School. This summer, about 15,000 Lutheran high school students and their adult leaders gathered together in New Orleans for the ELCA Youth Gathering. The focus of the whole event is faith formation of students. Living Word sent 6 youth and 2 adult leaders to this event. We also had adults volunteering at the gathering as well. We spent 6 days together, hearing speakers, worshiping in the Smoothie King Center, serving our neighbors, exploring the city, making new friends, and deepening our faith in Jesus. We even got to go on a gator boat tour. The theme for this event was created to be. We explored how as Christians we are created to be brave, authentic, free, and disruptive. My favorite part of the ELCA gathering was when all 15,000 people came together at night for a mass gathering, where we listened to adult speakers and student speakers. We also sang a ton of worship songs and had a special musician too. It was amazing to see so many Lutherans together learning about God. The experience was surreal. When we ended mass gathering around 9:30 p.m., all 15,000 students and leaders walked back to their hotels, taking over the sidewalks of downtown New Orleans. As we walked, we were asking people where they were from, singing camp songs, and bonding. I will always remember this amazing experience.
Hi, my name is Kira Rodriguez. I'm a sophomore at Cinco Ranch High School. And like Chloe, I also enjoyed meeting Lutheran kids from around the country and exploring the city. And to me, one of the most impactful experiences of the whole gathering was the message that God is a loving God that accepts us, loves us as we are, and wants the best for us. This concept was emphasized throughout the week by the speakers and just the overall atmosphere. Since the gathering, I have grown in my faith and brought this message to my relationships and my everyday life. I want others to be able to experience this feeling of being loved unconditionally by God. On behalf of the Living Word Youth Gathering Group, Chloe and I want to thank this congregation for supporting our trip through your prayers and financial donations. With your generosity, our group raised $3,000, which greatly reduced the cost of this trip for each of us. We also want to give a special shout out to Miss Jessica and Mark D for chaperoning and putting up with 6 teenage girls for a week. The 2024 ELCA Youth Gathering was an incredible experience, and we are so grateful that we had the opportunity to attend and grow in our faith. Thank you.
And lastly, we're going to hear from one of our council members, Jen, who's going to share with us a little bit about the difference that Living Word made in their lives at a very important time. So, Jen?
All right. Hi, guys. So for y'all, those of y'all who don't know me, I'm Jen Nygren. My husband, Chris, and I, who's home with the baby, have been members since November of 2022. But we knew immediately in June of 2022 after our first service here that this was home. This was our home church. It just felt right immediately. So first off, my husband and I started off being active with dinner church. So if y'all haven't been to Wednesday night dinner church, you should go. It's delicious and a lot of fun. And we also joined the baking ministry. Last fall, we joined the choir, who needs singers. So even if you can't sing, it's a lot of fun. And we also taught Sunday school. It's been really nice to be part of an active church community that just is so welcoming. And I love this church family so much that I've joined the church council. So if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer your questions. But some of you know that in July, when Hurricane Beryl hit, I looked significantly different. I was 9 months pregnant in Texas in July without power for 5 days. My ankles have only just recovered. It was hot. So Monday we lost power around 6 a.m. It was a rough time, let me tell you. Being 9 months pregnant in 90-degree heat was rough. And being the typical millennial that I was complaining about it on Facebook. And so Mark D actually texted me on Tuesday and said, the church has power, we have air conditioning, bring your stuff, come cool off. And my husband and I immediately packed up the car and came to Living Word. So being able to come here and cool off and charge our devices, charge our phones, we charged some batteries, we charged a fan so that I could sleep at night, because if you've been pregnant or know someone who's been pregnant, you know sleep is a scarce resource at night. So it was being able to charge everything and cool off was pretty great. We were also able to take ice from the ice machine so we could ice our food, so all of those freezer meals that I cooked for once the baby came, we were able to save those. We were able to save our fish tank, which has to be kept below 68 degrees, which again, in Texas in July is really, really difficult. And they fed us as well, pretty great. Multiple people offered to let us come stay with them that had power. They offered us fans, they offered us batteries, things that we needed. And most importantly, on Wednesday, after we saw our doctor, and they told us we would have to have an almost emergency C-section the next day, we were able to come back here to the calm, the air conditioning, and then we were able to have Pastor Mark pray over us for a safe delivery. And so we came back on Thursday, cooled off, and then went to the hospital. So my baby girl, Anne-Marie Nygren, was born Thursday, July 11th at 5:29 p.m. There you can see her. So she is a 7-11 baby, so I'm hoping she gets free Slurpees for the rest of her life. So luckily we were able to be discharged to a house that had power. We got power Friday at about 6 p.m. and were discharged Saturday morning. So that was helpful. But then the next day on Sunday, we were able to tune into both the 8 and the 10:30, and to see Anne's rose and her picture on the screen was just really, really fulfilling. Having my daughter welcomed to the church has been lovely. She's, I think she's perfect, and so does everyone we've talked to here, so it's been wonderful. We look forward to having our daughter baptized here in December when my in-laws are here, and to watch her grow through the youth ministry. And thank you, Tracy, for that lovely picture. The staff here is fantastic. We love Pastor Ariel and Pastor Mark, and we just look forward to a long future here at Living Word filled with love and joy and hope.
It's wonderful to hear those stories. We're not, a super large church, but we're large enough that you don't all get to hear the good that God does through our time and our talent and our treasure. It is Reformation Sunday. Martin Luther long ago nailed 95 theses on the Wittenberg church door because he saw that there were practices in the church that got in the way of the freedom that he was experiencing. Our gospel today, in the Gospel of John, talks about that freedom. If the Son makes you free, you'll be free indeed. And we've experienced that freedom. We know we're free from sin and death and the devil. We know we're freed from all these things that might worry us, but might cloud our future. But now that we've been freed, how will we respond? Last week, Rick shared during his sermon a slide that had all of these different ways of saying thank you in these different languages. And one of those is Eucharist. One of the names for Holy Communion, the Lord's Supper, this sacrament, is Eucharist, which means thanksgiving. We come forward and we give thanks to God every Sunday as we share Holy Communion for all that God has done for us. And this Sunday, we'll have the opportunity to give thanks to God in another way, by giving our estimate of giving and our time and talent commitments for the year, so we can continue to support what God is doing through Living Word, how God is working through Living Word to enable us to be signs of this living hope, so that the whole world may experience the freedom that we have in Christ, the freedom that has found us. Amen.